If you're a woman in your 40s or 50s and you feel like you have this newfound belly fat that you didn't ask for, this episode is for you. Like most women in midlife who are health conscious, you're probably eating healthier, working out, you're walking 10,000 steps per day, maybe you even take supplements or HRT, yet that annoying, relentless belly will not budge. Guess what? I have it too. My stomach was always pretty flat, but in my 40s, my lower belly is like, oh, hey, how are ya? It's annoying and it's frustrating. And I'm not going to sit here and tell you that you should love and accept your changing body because that feels really dismissive, especially when you're a woman who is putting the work in. So instead, my goal for this episode is to give you some clarity, hopefully some peace of mind, or at the very least, some laughs. All right. So you probably assume that all these crazy changes that are happening to your body and your life are due to your erratic hormone shifts. And yes, hormones are a big part of it. I will not deny that. They are very powerful, and it's why I educate on them. However, your hormones don't operate in isolation. So I want to walk you through what's going on and some things to think about. In perimenopause, as you've likely heard me say before, estrogen is fluctuating a lot. She's up, she's down, and she's out of here at some point. Progesterone is declining even earlier than estrogen, typically in our mid to late 30s. So by the time we're in our 40s and 50s, we're not making much of this hormone at all. And also, your body becomes more sensitive to things like cortisol and insulin. So these shifts can influence where your body stores fat, especially around the midsection. But your metabolism, your stress load, your nutrition, and how you move your body all play a role as well. So I want to cover some different factors that may be driving that belly fat for you. Number one is your metabolic health and blood sugar. There's one health trend right now that I take a little issue with. It's the obsession with CGMs, or continuous glucose monitors. Here's why. A lot of women will wear them for a few weeks and they will suddenly think that they can't eat fruit, rice, or carbs ever again. Carbs are not only a major macronutrient, but many of them are nutrient dense besides being delicious. Why would you deny yourself of that? Blood sugar is supposed to rise after you eat. That's a normal, healthy response. The goal is not perfectly flat blood sugar 24/7. We're human after all. The bigger issue is when blood sugar is constantly running high or crashing hard. Some of the signs of that are you feel shaky in between meals, you get hangry if you're not fed, you're exhausted and dragging through the day, you're craving sugar and carbs all the time, and it's likely because you're skipping meals, you're under eating, or you have an imbalance of macronutrients, which a lot of women are doing, often without even realizing it in this phase of life. And this is especially true right now when so many people are using GLP-1s. I'm not against them. There's a time and place for them. But unfortunately, most women are not being coached properly while using these peptides. And when your body is underfueled, it sees that as stress. Your body starts prioritizing survival over things like fat loss. And one place women often notice that shift first, in their belly. Number two, stress and cortisol, as in your nervous system is overloaded, my friend. Thank you, modern day living, where boundaries around how we spend our time and energy are non-negotiable, in my opinion. Like most midlife women, you're doing all the things, right? We talked about working out. You're trying to eat healthier. You're probably working. You're taking care of everyone and everything, taking care of your home without taking a beat. Nobody wants to hear you need to slow down. And I'm not saying that you should stop being ambitious or getting things done, but are you living at a pace that your body can no longer handle? Are you somebody who says yes to everything? Are your kids involved in a million sports or activities and you never catch a break? Do you know how to delegate? Do you ask for help? I understand it's not always possible to say no to things or take stuff off of your plate, especially during busy seasons of life. But if your health is important to you, which I hope it is, you need to start shifting your priorities. And that includes making time to eat healthy, moving your body regularly, hydrating properly, and resting. And this doesn't mean that you have to follow some perfect, rigid plan, but you do need to think ahead of time. You do need to prepare better and have some sort of plan in place that is sustainable and you can follow long term. All right, then there's mineral depletion. This is where many people, quite frankly, are clueless. If your body is low in key minerals like magnesium, potassium, and sodium, which we see all the time with our midlife clients, that will impact your metabolism, your thyroid, your adrenal health, or stress response. And that creates a ripple effect, which can show up as stubborn belly fat. Then there's thyroid signaling. You may not necessarily have a full-blown thyroid diagnosis, but sluggish conversion of your inactive thyroid hormone, T4, to your active thyroid hormone, T3, poor signaling, and low metabolic output could be to blame. In a nutshell, your body isn't burning energy efficiently. And the last thing is muscle mass. This is a huge one. Please listen to this, ladies. As we age, we naturally lose muscle if we're not actively maintaining it. Less muscle equals slower metabolism. So if you are doing tons of cardio, you are cutting calories and eating less, especially those of you who are on GLP-1s, and you're wondering why nothing is changing, this is a big part of it. You need to be building muscle and eating enough. Workouts alone will not get you there. You need fuel. There's simply no way around it. As we lose hormones in perimenopause, our gut function becomes compromised. So many women come to us with gut issues. One company that I love and recommend is Microbiome Labs. They do thorough research on the gut microbiome, how gut health is linked to different health conditions, and their line of products is top notch. I use them myself and with clients. I recommend their Total Gut Restoration Kit, which includes Megaspore Probiotic, Mega Prebiotic, and Mega Mucosa for mucosal lining support. These 3 supplements work to support a healthy gut, a protective gut barrier, and bacteria strains for balanced immune and digestive function. Head to microbiomelabs.com and save 15% with code Claudia123. Now, something that does tend to confuse women or make them feel like they're crazy is when you wake up in the morning and you have a flat belly, and then by afternoon, you have a bloated belly. So you wake up and your stomach is relatively flat, and then later in the day, you're like, oh my God, I look like I'm pregnant. And your brain probably goes to, I'm getting fat. No, you are not gaining body fat between 8 a.m. and 2 p.m., okay? It cannot happen. What's happening is fluid shifts, hormonal fluctuations, hello, that's what we're dealing with in perimenopause, digestion, and sometimes it could be inflammation or certain food sensitivities like dairy, for example. Estrogen especially can influence fluid retention, and as progesterone drops, you may hold on to more water. And yes, it's really frustrating, even for me, and I know this stuff, but I have to often remind myself that it's not fat, it's perimenopause, and my body may need some additional support. Now, here's what a lot of women are doing wrong when they see belly fat. They tend to eat less and cut calories, as I mentioned. They skip meals or they fast for way too long, or somebody told them that fasting was the way to weight loss, and they're typically doing it incorrectly. Women often will do more cardio and they don't even want to look at a weight. They will cut out certain foods like carbs and then wonder why their body is holding on to fat even more. All of that increases stress on your body, and it reinforces the exact problem that we're trying to fix. So what actually works? Well, it's not extremes, not removing a ton of foods from your diet, especially a whole macronutrient like carbohydrates. It's not some trendy diet or guessing, right? It's supporting your midlife metabolism properly, eating enough food, especially protein, and yes, carbohydrates, strength training to maintain muscle mass. That's how you get that toned look that we're all after. Supporting your nervous system with healthy boundaries, rest, and recovery. Looking at your nutrient status. And for many women, properly supporting your hormones with HRT, hormone replacement therapy. If you are new here, I am a big advocate of HRT. I use it myself. I educate clients on it. And I have done many previous episodes on HRT. So go back and listen to some of those. However, this all needs to be personalized because what your body needs is not the same as what your friend needs or the other lady down the street, okay? Listen, I want to share a client story with you really quickly. She was in her 50s when she came to work with us inside the perimenopause method. And her doctor told her that her visceral fat rating dropped from a 13 down to a 9 while we were working together. Visceral fat is stored around your organs. It's the type of fat that's highly inflammatory and closely linked to type 2 diabetes, metabolic issues, and heart disease. All things that we are at risk for as we age, and especially because we're losing hormones. So this isn't just about aesthetics. It's also about your long-term health. And we didn't just focus on weight loss with this client or any of our clients. We focused on her metabolism overall, her diet, what she was eating every day, her minerals and nutrients, her stress, her movement, and of course, her hormones. We looked at the full picture. And as a result, her body responded. Wow, imagine that. So if you're listening to this and thinking, I'm doing everything right, but nothing is working, at this stage, it's not about doing all the things. It's not about trying harder. It's about understanding what your body actually needs. And most women are guessing. They're buying random supplements online, following all these influencers or experts that give generic advice and don't know you or your unique needs. So if you're frustrated, your body is changing, and you feel like you're spinning your wheels, stop wasting time trying to figure this out on your own. This doesn't magically fix itself. And the longer you stay in this cycle, the harder it's gonna feel. This is why I created the perimenopause method. We have supported hundreds of women. We look at your body individually. We use testing strategically. We support your metabolism, nutrients, and hormones together and give you a clear plan personalized to you. But I will say this, it is not for everyone. In fact, we have an application process to ensure that you are a good fit because we want women who truly prioritize their health. They don't just focus on aesthetics. They're willing to implement changes and what we suggest consistently, and they realize it's about sustainable long-term health. If that's you, then apply via the link in the show notes. We will be happy to support you. Now, if you're ready to feel better in your body, to understand what's going on, and to see changes, this really is your next step. Check out the Perimenopause Method program or start with my free on-demand training, which I will also link in the show notes. All right, I hope this episode was helpful to you. Please do leave a rating and review. It really does help us reach more women, and I will see you next week. The information provided is for educational and informational purposes only. I am not, nor do I act as a doctor or any other medical professional. I am not providing healthcare, medical services, or attempting to diagnose, treat, prevent, or cure any physical, mental, or emotional disease or condition. The information shared is not intended to be a substitute for the professional medical advice provided by your own medical or mental health provider.